In this roleplay, the facilitator was speaking to one of the group workers who have been harmed as a result of the behaviour of two young people whilst on the day trip with the U Club. The U Club worker no longer wants to return to the workplace after the events that have unfolded. In this scenario, we will use restorative justice to resolve the problem. Hi Aaron, how are you? I'm glad you've come to meet me today.
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just a bit unsure and nervous about coming today, to be honest.
Okay, I see. I can assure you that there's nothing to be nervous about. This is going to be a small conversation that will be on your terms totally.
Well, I suppose you want to talk about what happened on the day with the lads, and I'm not too comfortable talking about that just yet. It was only recent.
That's totally understandable, Aaron. But if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a few questions about the situation. If you want to stop, just say so. Is that okay?
That's okay, thank you.
I'm aware of the behaviour of the two young people while out on the day trip. I just want to ask you, what were you thinking when you realised what had happened?
Well, obviously, I was very angry because they totally ignored me and disregarded my instructions for the whole day.
That's a reflection on the whole experience, and they are natural feelings to have. I just want to know, if it is possible, what were your first thoughts after you realised after what has been done and the damage has been caused to the sports equipment?
Well, I know it may sound childish, but I felt they were doing it deliberately to get at me personally. Also, it's tough to say this, but it made me doubt my ability to work in this sector.
You're doing really good, and I appreciate the honesty in your responses. What have your thoughts been since what happened? You've had some time to reflect on the incident now.
In terms of my feeling towards the young people, I would be nervous to meet them again. I know they were only young and they were only just pushing the boundaries, but they really got to me. I would still be somewhat apprehensive about returning to the youth club again.
You said you'd be nervous about meeting the young people again. How do you think this situation has affected you?
Well, my confidence has been severely damaged since.
Has there been anyone else affected by the situation, do you think?
Well, I'm sure the two young people are being penalised for their behaviour, and rightly so. They need to learn they can't behave like that and get away with it. But also, I feel sorry for the other young people on the day trip who had to witness what happened.
Would you mind further explaining how the other young people may be affected, Aaron?
Well, just by them being exposed to the others' antisocial behaviour, I wouldn't like them to think that this behaviour is cool or acceptable.
That's very true, and it's quite clear you are concerned with protecting the best interests of the young people as a group. On a professional note, that is very admirable of you. We are coming to the end of the conversation, and I just have a couple more questions to ask you. Is that okay?
Thank you. Yeah, that is fine. I'm just finding it good to talk openly about this stuff and get it off my chest.
I'm glad to hear that. So this is the question, might be a little bit tougher. In your own time, what has been the hardest part in all this for you?
The hardest part for me, I now feel unable to fill my duties as a youth worker. I was not able to control the situation, and I know it was only the sports equipment that got damaged, but looking at the bigger picture, it could have been a lot worse. The fact the young people got so close to the river unattended is the hardest part for me. I suppose I feel guilty for what could have happened.
Yeah, that's a good point, Aaron. But you must remember you were not the only youth worker on the day trip. Yes, the incident you raised is a very serious one, but you cannot blame yourself for what happened.
Okay, I suppose, but it's still very hard for me to get over what happened and move past it.
That's why we're here for this conversation, Aaron, is to talk openly using restorative justice to move forward.
Yeah.
That brings us to the final part of our conversation. What do you think should be done to make this situation right and resolve the conflict?
Well, normally I think the young people would have been banned from attending the youth club. However, I don't know if this solution would either do.
That's interesting you said that, because I've been in contact with the youth liaison officer about this, and he suggested we use restorative practice as a possible solution.
Okay, I've never heard about that before and I'm unsure about it. But I want to ask you, what does that involve?
Well, we would have a small mediation conference that it would be attended by the young offenders, their parents, the youth liaison officer, and the other youth workers that were also on the day trip. How would you feel about that?
I don't know really. I'm not too sure. I think I would still be very nervous about meeting them two young people again.
Yeah, as you previously said, you were nervous about meeting them, but it'd be good for your confidence, maybe to meet them. It's just, instead of which we want you, when we're drawn from the situation, we want to include everyone in the resolution of this process for the best for everyone.
Okay, fair enough. But what do you think this will achieve in the end?
Well, we want the young people to become aware and take responsibility of their actions. We hope, using the conference, both parties to get an understanding of why the incident occurred and what we can collectively do as a group to make things right moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
So that's okay. move forward and try and organising the conference. Thanks for coming.
Oh.